Oh yeah. Let's get going. Yeah. Yeah. Feel the music. Oh yeah. What the hell happened to the music? We were in Rocky, now we're in Lord of the Rings? Okay. Hello and welcome back to another Midnight Showing. As always, I'm Kelly, and I just got out of Creed. God, I'm fighting this guy in my viewfinder, but he keeps dodging all my punches. Oh well. Yep. So, don't believe the hype on this film. It is not one of the best films of the year. I know that's saying probably a little bit of a controversial statement, really it is. But don't get me wrong, this movie was good. It was even great. But it's nowhere near as good as the original Rocky. The first big problem is the music. By God, that opening montage, they play like little snippets of good music that fits this situation. But the rest of it feels like I'm in fucking Lord of the Rings, battling the two towers or something like that. I mean, it's so inappropriate. They try to make it feel all epic and awesome. Yeah! Ugh. But forgetting that the way you make Rocky epic and awesome is about more to do with just the 70s cheese. The new age feel of this. It felt like they were trying to reinvent Rocky, and that was not a direction I wanted this movie to go. So, my final verdict before we get into any spoilers is it's worth seeing. Go see it. Go see it in theaters. But just go in knowing that it's not going to be that super amazing, awesome sports movie that you wanted. It's not going to be a new Rocky that's going to be awesome. This isn't really the Rocky for this, the new age Rocky. It's Creed. It's a different feeling. It's a different person. It's a different person. I get that, but at the same time, it's supposed to be sequelizing Rocky, and it just doesn't know how to do that properly. There's some really good aspects about that, and I'll get into that into the spoiler section here. So, what is the story behind this film? Well, Apollo Creed had an illegitimate son, which it's been a while since I've watched the other Rocky films, but didn't Creed have kids inside of the second Rocky movie? That's the problem with the film, is that it likes to pick and choose what it takes from other Rocky films. And I could have sworn that Creed had kids in the second movie. I might be wrong. Correct me in the comments if you know for sure. But it's just one of the things that just popped out in my mind. But Adonis is played by Michael B. Jordan, who thank God is getting better work after the fantastic flop that was this year's Fantastic Four. And yeah, he gets adopted by Creed's wife and raised up. She doesn't want him fighting, but he's a fighter. He goes down to Mexico and he wins a bunch of fights, and he tries to find people to actually train him. But nobody wants to train Creed's son for some reason. One of the biggest boxers of all time, his son wants to get in the ring and you don't want to train him? I'm sorry, I'm calling bullshit on that right there. So he ends up leaving LA and going to Philly to try to find someone who will train him. Cue in Sylvester Stallone. Now, at first, Sylvester Stallone doesn't want to train him. And it's mostly due to the fact that he's just waiting to die. He's not really given up, but everything he knew and loved is gone. What else does he have left? It's just his time. He doesn't want to get back in the ring. He doesn't want to fight anymore. He just wants it over. But Michael B. Jordan is persistent and actually starts sparking some life back into Rocky and finally gets him to agree to train. Through happenstance involving a stupid Michael B. Jordan winning a fight against a new up-and-comer, the champ, who's basically going to jail and only has time for one more fight before that time, is out of money and his manager wants to make a big deal out of this, so he offers Creed a fight with the champ. It'll bring in millions. They both get what they want, and it's all good. Sound familiar? That's the exact premise of Rocky Balboa. Just replace Rocky with Creed. Yeah, I don't know if many people actually went into it noticing that. I couldn't help but feel that it was just Rocky Balboa over again. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, that's Rocky 6. Although technically they don't call it. They call it Rocky Balboa. And again, they pick and choose what they want from the other films. Case in point is Rocky Balboa. They make mention that Rocky has a son, but that he left to Canada because he couldn't get out of Rocky's shadow. Yet inside of Rocky Balboa, we actually see them, make up and get over it. So where did that happen? Off screen? Or are you just going to say, let's ignore what happened at the end of Rocky Balboa and just say that he had a son for those people who actually do give a shit? Because they're... Apparently I'm in a minority. I actually like continuity. And again, with Rocky 2, I could have sworn that Apollo Creed already had kids. Yet they need an illegitimate son. Alright, I should probably stop bashing and talk about the good stuff. The good stuff in this movie is the acting in general. Both Michael B. Jordan and Sylvester Stallone and their subsequent roles are beautiful. They complement each other perfectly. You have the new age Creed who's doing things a little bit more modernly, and he's doing it by himself, but you can tell that he has that anger inside of him, mostly because of his heritage, that that he just wants to beat the living shit out of something because of it. And hence why he has to fight. You have Rocky, who's the wise mentor, who knows what that kind of thing does. He had to watch his friend Apollo die in movie 4 because of that same freaking feeling. So they complement each other as Rocky's trying to tug in the reins. It's okay to be a boxer. It's okay to fight. But it's not okay to go on suicidal death rants like this. You can't be pissed off at the world. You gotta accept that, the world's not gonna do you any favors. You may have had a bad upbringing, but so is the rest of the world. Get in line. Yeah, it does a very good job with establishing their relationship, and they play off each other beautifully, especially in the training montages. Rocky showcasing a lot of his... It feels natural for Rocky to ascend to the training position. Yes, I know it happened in Rocky 5, but ask any fan of the series, Rocky 5 never happened. But it feels natural that he moved up to the trainer. That he basically became that grit in the corner who says, you're going to show them, you're going to show them what you got out there, you're going to kick their ass. He's the guy who, him ascending to that just made sense, and it fits with the character. And I do like to see the characters grow like that. Creed also is very likable. He's pissed off at the world and he does some pretty stupid shit. But you have to understand, he has some shit he has to work through, and he probably needs some help doing it. He had a love interest inside of this, but she served more of just, you have my support fashion. There's a nice little subplot about her having a progressive hearing loss, but she's also a musician. She knows that it's coming and that she's not going to be able to do it forever, so she's just trying to do it as long as she can until her hearing's all but gone. Which, it's kind of cool. It does show the inevitability and shows the character. But, I don't know, it just felt like that wasn't necessarily needed for all that she does in the film, which is basically nothing. So, yeah. Creed's wife is pretty good for the very few scenes that she's in. But the story mostly just revolves around Michael B. Jordan and Sylvester Stallone. They're 90% of the screen time here. And the acting's good. The music actually did something very, very clever, which I know that I was bashing it a minute ago, and I really do understand that. Because it didn't feel like music that belonged in a Rocky film. It didn't at all. But I will say that the music, whenever Creed makes a choice to do something good, or let me put this more of, he chooses the more correct path along the way. He chooses to fight on. He chooses to shoot down his ego a little bit. Stop acting like people are gonna. He stops acting like that stupid dickbag everyone else does. You know, when Rocky tells him to shut up, you can't listen when you're talking. I mean, so shut up and listen. And when he finally does do all that stuff and he starts improving as a character, you can actually hear in the background that they start playing Gonna Fly Now very subtly, you know, just like you know, it's just like a little riff here and there, you know, of playing a certain part. You know, you'll hear like at the beginning of one of his montages, da 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 da. You know, very, very, very subtly, not the big bombastic thing that you want. My problem with the music is that it never got that big bombastic thing that we really needed at the end. The song that I was playing inside of here, I Am Creed, on the soundtrack, it starts out by playing the big old bombastic thing, but then it goes into this like Lord of the Rings style fight music, and just no, that's not what you want for a boxing movie, especially one that has Rocky in it. You want something that's going to get you pumped up. You want to see that your hero has got this now. After all the shit he's been through, his eye is swollen shut. He's bleeding all over. It looks like his face has been put through a fucking meat grinder. And finally, when he goes out there and says, "You're a Creed," he doesn't know what you've been through, and you're a Creed, so show him what you've been through. Gets up and then just bum 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 bum. You know, that's the moment when you should have been playing Gonna Fly Now and just had him going back and forth. You don't have to show him on the winning side the whole time throughout that fight, but you need to reassure the audience that that's the whole point. But then it just plays the opening trumpet bit and then goes into like this intense, will he make it out of here? Will he do this music? It's the final round. It's the final round of the fight. Just give us what we want. Ugh. I hate the music for that. It does it throughout the entire movie, and it doesn't feel like something that belongs there. It could have been much better. And the music definitely holds this movie back, in my opinion. It's not a bad choice, per se, because I could see somebody getting excited for it. But I could also say that it's not something that was wanted here. I mean that. It just really isn't. So, yeah, moving on. The cinematography inside of the city is beautiful. A lot of really good aerial shots, a lot of above view so you can see the whole layout of the city. You know, and they finally do go to the archway steps, you know, for Rocky at the very, very end. And when they're just looking out from the sunset, it's beautiful. The cinematography is definitely amazing inside of the film. So, yeah, let's go into one of my bigger problems with it, the champ. Again, Rocky Balboa, they had a champ, didn't they? That Rocky fought? Who was still champ and was basically undefeated? He was one-hit KOing every single guy that they put in the ring with him, wasn't he? The whole reason why they set up a fight between Rocky and him inside of Rocky Balboa was because they needed some publicity to make him relevant again. Because he's too much of a one-hit wonder. He's one punch man. We need somebody that he can't kill in one punch. From my anime reference inside of this one. In this movie, yeah, the guy just is a dick who can't help but get pissy with people. And he caused the fight that blew his last fight off. Now he needs a new one set up immediately before he goes to jail, so he gets Creed to get a name and they get their millions. Two problems. One, yes, this is just a repeat of Rocky Balboa, but it doesn't even make sense. They only just barely found out that Adonis was Creed's son because of how much they wanted to keep this under wraps. They wanted him to make a name for himself, not just live off of the scraps that his dad left him, which makes sense. But it gets spoiled because his son lost in a fight against him, because heaven forbid that we could possibly lose against a guy training with Rocky. It just doesn't make any sense why this would be so high profile. You see what I'm saying? It feels like they're trying to rig something up that doesn't make any sense. And seriously, there's only 3 fights in this, and the third one is against the champ? No. Nobody would allow that. No competitive play would actually allow something like that. I don't care what kind of reasoning you give it. It just doesn't make any sense. And then the second problem. The champ they got for this Irish dude, he doesn't look like a boxer. Michael B. Jordan looks like a boxer. He's very slim. He's got pretty big pythons, and you can tell from the way that he moves that this guy studied boxing. The guy they got to play the champ looked like an MMA fighter. Big, bulky, he's just got muscles and freaking shit everywhere. This guy looks like a fucking tank, and he looks like he's as slow as one. Michael B. Jordan actually just looks like a boxer who focuses on speed and power and keeps his defense pretty minimal. That's what a boxer is. If you look at any boxer out there, you can tell that they trained to be a boxer. This guy looks like he trained to be a fucking MMA fighter. He looked like he's gonna beat you, and then he's gonna get down and kick you and start... He just looks like he's a brute. And I don't see how this guy can even be passed off as a boxer. I really don't. And truth be told, I don't think he is. In real life, I think they just did get an MMA fighter to play him. I can't think of any movies I've seen this guy in. Granted, I might have seen him inside of a minor bit role, and I might just be misremembering something, so feel free to correct me in the comments. I'm not going to pull up my IMDb page right now because, I'm sorry, this guy was not believable as a boxer at all. And that's another problem with the movie, is that I just don't believe it. The movie has some great moments. It's a good film. It's an entertaining, engaging film, but I just don't believe for a second that this situation happened the way it did and with these people. Because of all these little things. And it doesn't help that I'm too distracted by the music not sounding right to even really care about anything. Yeah, I should probably just stop this review. I know it's kind of polarizing. I'm sitting here bashing this movie, but I just keep hearing all of its fucking praises wherever I go. I mean, Chris Stuckman and Jeremy Johns. Everyone who sees it at fucking work when I have to go talk to them. All the other YouTubers. It's got 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, don't get me wrong. This movie is good. It's even great. But who the fuck said it was as good as the original Rocky? Who? Because I'm going to show you the original Rocky again, and you're going to be proven wrong. This movie is good. It's probably the best one since the original Rocky, but it is not as good as the original Rocky. At its core, it's still just a sports movie where, yes, the winner doesn't win at the end, which is the exact ending I saw in Rocky Balboa. Again, it feels like a rehash of a script we already saw. Oh well. Yeah, my final verdict is go see it, but leave your hype at the door. Just enjoy it for what it is and not what it could have been. Because if you try to enjoy it for what it could have been or what people are praising it as, you're going to be disappointed like me. So, yeah, that's it for me. Did you enjoy the video? Have you seen Creed? Tell me what you thought about it in the comments below, and maybe we'll get some healthy discussion going. And as always, if you like what you're seeing and want to see more, be sure to subscribe. I'll have links to my channel and playlists up here. I'll have some links to my more recent videos right down here. And if you like what you saw, like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitch, and I will see you all next time.